The most efficient way to study for final exams is to complete 100% of your semester review sheet. If your teacher has prepared a review sheet, it is a guarantee that the material on the final exam will come from the review sheet. Knowing everything on the review sheet guarantees that you'll be ready for the final exam. If your teacher has not provided a review sheet, you may need to prepare one for yourself. You can do this by copying representative questions from your section exams or section homework reviews. While not the guarantee of completing a teacher review sheet, it should allow you to help organize your study time and content into appropriate chunks of material. Tutoring. Stress is one of the primary determinants of a young student's life. Students are encouraged to take AP classes to stay competitive for college application season while maintaining or striving for a perfect GPA. Relaxation is oftentimes the last thing on a student's mind, so stress can quickly overwhelm them. Pushing yourself too hard is a quick way to see a decrease in academic performance. This burnout becomes detrimental for students and can create a difficult hole to get out of. This is why finding good ways to manage your stress can go a long way in helping you improve your academic performance while also improving your quality of life. One of the best ways to do this is by taking short breaks while doing studying or homework. Make sure you're not cramming and giving yourself time to digest information as you do it. It's not just an efficient way to study, but it also improves your quality of life. Extracurriculars are an important aspect of your life at and after school. Many students assume it doesn't matter too much for them academically, but that isn't necessarily true. Extracurriculars are a great way to blow off steam, meet new people, and it looks great on your college application. Some of the reasons why shorter class periods are better for students is student attention. The most optimal learning is going to take place when you have the most focused student attention. We'll discuss some techniques later to heighten student attention, but research is conclusive that student attention is best at the beginning of the period. Researchers have broken down class periods minute by minute and determined there is a 3 to 5 minute settle down period, then 10 to 18 minutes of optimal focus. At this time, research measured attention lapses for every student, regardless of how compelling the topic or the instruction. The attention lapses become longer and more frequent as you extend the session. In a typical classroom setting that sees class sizes in the 30s, a student with ADHD can go unnoticed by teachers, which can result in the student falling behind. This environment is not ideal for students with ADHD as distractions are prevalent and can drastically affect the student's academic performance. Additionally, they may have difficulty with following directions from the teacher or completing tasks and homework on time due to the difficulty in controlling impulsivity or emotions. Research suggests that 30 to 40% of students with ADHD require a specialized curriculum to stay on track. So, how can schools help students with ADHD? Well, one-to-one learning is one of the most effective curriculums for students with ADHD. Here at the Tenney School, we've developed a curriculum around one-to-one learning, as well as shortening the class periods to 30 minutes, which keeps student retention rates and academic efficiency as a high priority. Our teachers are able to keep track of each student and adjust the lessons as needed for each individual student's progress. Also, the added benefit of having a supportive and learning environment helps ease students with anxiety about not paying attention and falling behind. By providing a one-to-one learning program, students with ADHD are able to receive individual attention from their lesson plan and in turn their teachers. This allows them to really stay focused during a task and also give them the opportunity to develop an academic relationship with their teacher so both parties can truly understand and benefit from each other. The first factor to consider is whether you perform better on aptitude tests, which test your overall learning capability, or achievement tests, which test more of what you have learned. If you are a naturally bright person, the SAT, which is more of an aptitude test, may be the better test to focus on. Students who are more studious and hardworking may perform better on the ACT, which measures more of what students have learned. Another factor to consider is whether you are more of a math or language-oriented student. The SAT is more heavily focused on math. Half of the SAT sections and half of your overall score will be based on how you perform on math. In contrast, only 25% of the ACT is focused specifically on math. In general, the SAT will favor students more math-oriented and the ACT will favor students more language-oriented. A third factor to consider is going to be science. As alluded to earlier, the SAT is 50% math, 50% verbal. The ACT consists of 25% math, 25% English, 25% reading, and 25% science. While the other percentages are basically a matchup, the main difference between the ACT is going to be science versus another math section. Students who perform well in science may prefer the ACT over the SAT. Is Discord causing disruption in the classroom? Discord does have a number of benefits when it comes to what it can do for students and teachers alike. On Discord, teachers are able to host their own groups where they can pin important dates, schedule announcements, and moderate class discussion to enrich the classroom experience in a unique way. When used correctly, Discord can enrich and improve learning for students. But there are some negative consequences as well. Educational groups are not the only groups on Discord. Discord makes it easy for users to switch between servers and groups. In fact, students can switch from a class group discussion to other social or non-academic Discord groups at any time. Students can become distracted by communications and activities in other online Discord groups with little or no indication to the teacher. This inability to control when students access on Discord is reason enough for many teachers to outright ban Discord in the classroom. So this begs the question, is Discord too disruptive for the classroom? Well, that depends on the classroom and the level of student maturity. More mature students will be able to regulate their own Discord use to focus on school and educational groups when needed. In fact, Discord communication groups and online messaging boards may enhance the learning if moderated correctly. In classes where students are more reserved and hesitant to raise their hands for questions, the chat features on Discord could actually increase classroom participation and discussion. On the other hand, with less mature students, more prone to distraction and disruption, students may not be ready for the increased temptation caused by the access Discord provides to a multitude of social and non-educational groups. These can be great ways for students to become familiar with the students around them, as well as learning new things about each other. It also opens up the opportunity for students to make new friends. This also can be useful for you as well, as you can gauge the seating arrangement, the students, and predict which groups work well together or could be disruptive. Students can have difficulty coming up with defined goals for themselves academically, so setting aside class time where they can brainstorm ideas on what they'd like to accomplish can be helpful to their success. Also, if it's done in a creative way, it can get students excited about organization, which will in turn benefit their long-term academic success. In addition to teaching them how to manage their time effectively, another huge benefit is for getting them excited about organization. Color coding, time blocking, binder organization, and note-taking strategies are all effective ways for students to plan their time, and getting them excited about organization can help them keep track of their assignments and due dates. While we covered effective strategies for maintaining student engagement after a long break, we want to stress the most important thing of all, maintaining positivity in the classroom. Positive reinforcement is your best weapon when getting students engaged and excited about being back in the classroom. The first thing you want to figure out is the type of school you want to go to after high school. The first choice is jumping right into a four-year university. This is the most expensive option, but allows you the experience of university life right after high school. To help you narrow down your four-year options, you might want to tap into some online resources to help narrow your search. Many students already have accounts with College Board or Naviance, both of which have search functions to help you build a potential list of schools by location, size, major, or even admissions criteria. The second option is starting in a community college, then transferring to a full university after 2 years. Most community colleges do not require you to take an admissions test as long as your high school GPA is higher than a 2.0. Community college students will save money on course costs and can generally live at home, making it a much more affordable way to begin their earning college credits. This option will offer core classes that you will need anyway in university at a fraction of the price. Just make sure that the credits are transferable between your community college and your university of choice. The third option is to take a gap year. Gap years are a great option for students who don't know what they want to do and need a little bit of time to figure it out. Or they may just need a little break from school before going back into it. The most popular misconception spoken by parents and teachers alike is that online school isn't as good as in-person instruction. While this can be true for some online classes, you can also find online schools that are just as effective as in-person schools. In reality, it will depend on the teacher, the lesson plan, and the student. While the student with attention challenges may struggle with online learning, a GT student may find an online class more stimulating than being in person with students going at a slower pace. Younger students may really struggle to engage in online learning, but students with anxiety may be much more successful in an online school. Online schooling can be a great alternative as the curriculum can be much better adjusted to the student's academic level. In addition, online schools may provide students access to high-quality teachers not available to them in person at their location. Many parents will be familiar with the Myers-Briggs Type Indication Career Test. Myers-Briggs is the most popular personality test and has been used in corporate America for decades to help make job decisions and improve team performance. Once students understand their personality type, you can see what types of careers were chosen by others with similar personality types. We should point out Myers-Briggs does not really address aptitude. It's possible that a student may fit from a personality perspective but not match the aptitude of others in that career. Myers-Briggs online will cost you about $50 to take the test. If you use a certified test instructor, it'll cost more. Probably the first content filter you should consider will be the one provided by your internet provider. As part of the services you have with your provider, they will have a modem and a router installed at the access point to the internet. There will always be ways that you can program that access point to restrict the content accessible from devices in your home. You can usually find these controls when you log into your account under parental controls. While this way of filtering is the simplest and probably cheapest, there will be limits to the features that come with your internet service provider's content filters. You can add more feature-rich content filters to your home network by using something called a DNS filter. With this type of filters, parents can block access to specific sites or categories of sites. Your home internet will always be routed first through the DNS filter, and that filter will block traffic for continuing further to sites that you have listed for blocking. At first glance, it may seem that year-round schools are an unnecessary pressure on students to continue performing at their max level academically for longer. The opposite is actually true. One major benefit of year-round schools is more frequent breaks. These breaks are closer together rather than spread out across a typical school year, and they allow time for students to recharge after tests and other major academic milestones for the year. Many students think a typical summer break is a plus, but more often than not, it causes a decline in academic performance and disruption in the routines of students and parents. Students will often come back from summer or winter breaks with a lag behind academically from where they were prior to the break. The breaks featured in year-round schools are just long enough for students to recharge without losing their student and school routine. It can also help teachers de-stress as there's time to recharge and plan lessons for their students. This can make lessons more worthwhile for students and allow more time for the teachers to make sure the class is digesting the material and retaining information from the first and by far the most important factor parents should consider when selecting a school is teacher quality. There are a lot of fancy statistics and metrics these days about school quality, but your child's education will be best served by maximizing their contact with the highest quality teachers. It's not perfect, but you can start to assess teacher quality by looking at social media, staff pages, and degree levels. Good teachers often pursue advanced degrees, but some of the best teachers only have undergrad degrees. We think you can also learn a lot more about a school's teacher quality by looking at your school's turnover rate and staff longevity. Quality teachers will not stay at long for a school where they cannot make an impact on students. The second factor to consider is school culture. School culture is something that goes beyond the public face and marketing materials. You should get a sense of a school culture by walking the halls and attending some school events. Select a school not just based off ratings and reputation, but based on whether your child fits the culture of the school. Schools with the highest test scores and impressive college placements tend to be rated the best, but not all students are a fit for the culture of pressure often present at these schools. To get to know how private school works, let's first cover what private school is. According to Wikipedia, private schools are schools not funded or run by the government. Instead of being funded and administered by government authorities like public schools, private schools are primarily funded by tuition paid by parents and governed by an internal governing authority.